What follows is for news and entertainment purposes only. Any use of the forthcoming information in violation of any federal, state, or local law is prohibited. Mike North, you are on fire.
You know anybody else that good?
No.
No, they'll tell you they are. They may think they are, but we're documented every single week. The eye is on us.
That's
and I ain't
right.
talking about the eye of CBS, the public eye. The first feeling I got when I won a bet was elation. The worst feeling was when I lost a bet and I wanted to jump off a balcony.
Give me a quick betting tip.
Yeah, do win and don't lose, but usually it doesn't always work out that way. How many times you heard this? I'm going to Vegas. I go, how'd you do? Well, guess I lost $4,000, but you go there to have fun. No, you go there to win. And that's what's wrong with people. They have the negative mentality in anything they do, including sports, before they even laid the bet down. So you got to be positive. Vegas Scores and Odds is the landing place that gave me an opportunity to handicap. They let me show what I could do, and there's packages, there's free picks. What does Vegas Scores and Odds do when you perform? They reward you, and they take care of you, and that's why we're ready to do this show.
Vegas Scores and Odds presents the Mike North Advantage, and it begins right now. That's right. The Mike North Advantage starts right now. I am Aldo Gandia, Mike's wingman. And as always, every Wednesday it is Vegas Scores and Odds presents the Mike North Advantage. Mike has 3 free picks for you for tonight's action. 3. And we've got plenty to talk about regarding the NBA Finals as Game 3 moves to the Oracle. Can Steph Curry come up with a command performance to save his injury-riddled team from going down 2-1? That series, of course, tied at 1-1. We've got plenty of other sports talk for you, but let's not keep him waiting anymore. Mike North, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, Aldo. We're fresh off 1-0 the other night with the St. Louis Blues. Gave it out right at the top of the show. You never know what you're going to hear from the beginning to end. We got more of one of those conjunction type of 6 o'clock and on games tonight. So we got 3 Major League Baseball games tonight to give you. We're also brought to you by Vegas Scores and Odds. Punch in this number, your phone, right now. If you're driving, pull over. 1-800-808-3419 for a free pick and info for the premier handicapping site in the country, VegasScoresandOdds.com. It's the only site you'll ever need with expert handicappers like John Anthony. Johnny's tough right now. Johnny got a 14-9 record his last 7 days. Check him out at VegasScoresandOdds.com. Dennis Macklin. Denny, 11-5, all sports, last 7 days. Come on now. This is the site of champions. The site of champions, ladies and gentlemen. We don't mess around. I mean, we come right at you. We don't shy away. It's a tough racket. You also got great guys like Hollywood and Tony Sacco and Ray Monahan. Yours truly, much, much more. Check out the homepage of VegasScoresandOdds.com for a tote board with me. Your all-time favorite. Oh, of course, you are placed in second all-time with my picks. Right now, the last 30 days in Major League Baseball, 22-13. Last 7 days, I'm 5-3. Even in hockey, I've only picked one game the last month, but I've been 1-0. So check it out. Follow them at VSAO. Pick packages ranging from daily to weekly to monthly, or how about for the whole year? Dial up 1-800-808-3419. That's 1-800-808-3419 right now. And with me at Vegas Scores and Odds. And Aldo, things are going great. We're ready to go. And I'll tell you what, the baseball season's starting to heat up right about now.
It really is, and we're live here on Mixler.com, and at 3:07 p.m. Central, the White Sox and Nationals are tied 4-4 in the bottom of the ninth. Hopefully this White Sox bullpen can hold on, and the White Sox can get a win after they lost the first game of that series in Washington. These White Sox, man, they just can't get over 500. They keep hitting a wall every time they approach that 500 mark.
Yeah, yesterday they get up 5-0. I think, here we go. I mean,
yes.
Rick Renteria, besides the Minnesota Twins and Rocco Baldelli, hand Rick Renteria the Manager of the Year award if the Twins didn't exist. Unfortunately, the Twins exist and win almost every day. But the second best managing job in baseball has been done by Rick Renteria. They are so short on pitching. And the reason you know they're short on pitching, because every fourth day they brag about their one great pitcher, Louis Giolito. That's it. That's what hey, Giolito. What did we hear? What have we heard it deservedly so for his last 4 or 5 starts? Giolito. How many other pitchers you hearing about on that White Sox team? Ronaldo Lopez has had leads of 5-0, 7-1, 6-1 in his past games, and they haven't held him.
Oh.
And he's not long for the minor leagues. I heard Rick Renteria make statements yesterday, basically saying he's missing the spots, his velocity varies, he's not consistent. To me, that's like an onion that's been underneath the seat of your car for about 2 weeks. It smells real bad. And guess what? That onion's going to be sent to the minors unless he gets going.
You got me crying with laughter here.
Oh, I like that. I like that with the cry.
Good stuff, man. It's sad that this White Sox team just has not built a pitching
No, it's
staff.
not, though, Aldo. We didn't think they'd be this good.
Well, yeah.
I didn't, at least. You got them at 500.
Yes.
So, but you got plenty of time for that. They can still turn this around.
Indeed.
But I think this White Sox team is a hitting team. They put on their hitting shoes the last 15, 20 games. Their pitching, you can't have one good start every 4 starts.
Yep.
You can't have one great pitcher. So what they're going to have to do next year, because this year's over. I mean, we're rooting for them to be 500 basically, or better, because the race looks like it's over, although you never say never this early. But Minnesota's got everything going on all cylinders and getting it done. But next year, don't you think during the offseason they got to get at least a starter and maybe 2 bullpen pitchers, or 2 starters and 2 bullpen pitchers?
Well, yeah, I agree. And with them only being 2.5 games out of a wild card spot, they might be hunting for pitching help now if they really want to get into the playoffs. Why not make a push for playoffs and give some of these young players some playoff experience? I say that Rick Hahn and this White Sox organization should start looking for pitching help now.
I think that if they're 5 games out in September, they'll surrender from the wild card spot because they'll know they're not where they should be. And even if they made the playoffs, they don't think they would get it done. I know that's losing thinking, but you got to remember who you're dealing with. And are they going to give up maybe some young prospects that they still believe in to pick up a couple rent-a-pitchers maybe, okay? Or maybe get them in a trade where they got a couple of years on them, but what kind of pitchers are going to be available? I mean, you're not going to see many stud pitchers available. So that's going to be a tough decision, Anders. And let's see if they're still in this position for the wild card by August.
Yeah. I'm asking for some help in the chat room right now because I remember there was a year when Jerry Reinsdorf, with the team being 3 games out.
Why are you asking for help? I'm sitting right here.
Because I wanted to sound smart and present the idea to you.
So you type stuff up. That's been tried for 25 years. That ain't going to work. Because the guy typing to you is dumber than you probably. Who knows? But here, I'm going to give you this. It was Keith Folk. It was the Keith Folk it was the white flag trade. It was the white flag trade where they traded. Don't look at they traded Keith Folk.
Yes.
And we got and Alvarez. We had all these. Wasn't it called the white flag trade?
I believe that is correct. Yes, Wilson Alvarez was involved in that. Yes, you're absolutely correct. There were only 3 games out, and all of a sudden they just started unloading players. It was like, what the hell? You got Babe Ruth in your dugout, and you're looking for Caratini to answer the question. No, but that pissed people off. Because you know why? That pissed people off because, and you're right about this, they were set up to win. Mm-hmm. Right.
They were set up to win. This team isn't. By the way, Trey Turner. Final score, Washington 6, White Sox 4. They could have been 500. Now they drop another game below 500. Not good as he parks one out of the yard for the Washington Nationals right here while we're on the air to win and beat the White Sox 6-4.
Yeah, that's several rows up.
But I remember that trade, the White Sox trade. and we were all pissed.
Yeah.
I was on the air. I was pissed off, man, because, we hadn't tasted victory in so long, and we're right there. But it was Reinsdorfian. People still haven't forgiven him for that move either, and we might have won it. That was different than this year. That team, we thought could win it. They had studs on that team. This team, no.
Yeah, it just didn't make sense to me, that you're so close to making the playoffs and you just, bring up the white flag.
That was early.
Yeah.
They did it early.
Yeah.
I think it was a couple months, right?
I think
they started making moves.
Right. I think it was right at the trade deadline that they started making moves.
If you go on the computer right now and look up white flag trade, White Sox will give it to you right there.
Yeah, you're right. Let me do
You want me to talk into the black box?
Yeah, talk to the black box.
All right, because you seem like right now. Basically, you brought this whole show to a halt because of your white flag phenomenon. Okay, hold on for a minute.
Hold on, I got it. 1997. What? I thought I had it. Where'd it go?
I got it. Wilson Alvarez. The Giants received Alvarez, Darwin, and Roberto Hernandez. The White Sox received Keith Folk, Bobby Howery, Lorenzo Barcelo, Ken Vining, and Mike Caruso.
Yes,
and
that's it.
We got in a couple nice pieces from that, but the trade was made on July 31st, 1997. I think, Aldo, when it was made. It's still like the beginning of August, man.
Yeah.
You had 2 months to go.
Yeah.
So you're right about that. You're 3 games out. What are you doing?
Yep.
People still are pissed, and it's famous.
It is
I said
famous.
it right away, the white flag trade, right?
Yep.
The surrender trade. That's how everybody felt about it. And I think that's one of the many times the media and the fans were in lockstep when it went to the White Sox in Reinsdorf.
Yep, and the White Sox finished just 6 games behind the American League Central Division champion Cleveland Indians. The Giants went on to win the Western Division title with a 90-72 records, 2 games better than the Dodgers. That trade will forever really bother me about Jerry Reinsdorf and the White Sox organization. That was a dagger to the heart.
Who gave Boston the World Series? Jerry Reinsdorf.
Yes.
Who gave San Francisco their pennant? Jerry Reinsdorf.
True.
Helped.
True.
He's helped more teams than his own. I mean, I'm serious.
Oh, my goodness. You're so right. You are so right about that.
I mean, my God, the Giants ended up being pretty damn good. The Red Sox win the World Series. The only trade that sort of is blown up on them or went their way is the Giolito trade.
Yeah.
They had a meeting and all that.
Yeah.
To Washington.
It's looking good now, yes. Well,
yeah.
Let us pray for better days ahead.
Well, you want it so badly. You want to tell me, see, Mike, I told you 500. See, I told you 500. And Aldo, I'm here to tell you, you're going to be like those guys climbing Mount Everest. You make it to the top, but then you're going down. You go, geez, all of a sudden I can't breathe. What happened? Hey, they put in an elevator there yet?
No, not
Hey,
yet.
I climbed Mount Everest. How'd you do it? I pressed 430. Now anybody can climb it. If there was a line going up Mount Everest, it's like the line getting in the Navy Pier.
Yes, exactly.
They got banisters. They got stairs. My God, they got ladders. And those poor charupas, those poor guys that make their living off that, they have the highest fatality rate in the world, I think,
Yeah.
And that usually happens when you try to, elongate a ladder from one cliff to the other. That usually is not a good sign.
Yes. not a very good sign at all.
No.
All right, let's get off the depressing topic of the Chicago White Sox trades and then this heartbreaking loss in the bottom of the 9th inning, a 2-run shot. The Sox a loser to the Washington Nationals. And let's talk over about the NBA Finals. Game 3 now moves to the Oracle. I listened to a large portion of Steve Kerr's press conference yesterday as he addressed the media, and boy, did he really look upset when he was giving an update on the team's injury situation. This is what he said.
Well, Kevin won't play, but he's ramping up his exercise routine, his workouts. And Klay is day-to-day, so he's questionable. And Loon is out, for the series. So there's your medical update.
Mike, this guy looked like he was in pain himself, physical and emotional pain. Can this Warriors team do something that I don't think any NBA team has ever done, losing 3 key players and win? Let's just talk tonight's game. Can they win tonight with Steph Curry perhaps doing some Superman trick or something like that? What are your thoughts about this upcoming Game 3?
If Curry was out with Klay, okay, instead of Durant out with Klay, all right, they wouldn't win tonight. With Curry, there's a shot, 50-50. I mean, because let's face it, now it's starting to pile up. You got Looney. You got Klay Thompson, who's one of the best shooters in the history of the game. You got Durant. But really, it's almost time to say Durant may not play. Now, if people remember, on Bears Barroom, even before our Vegas Scores and Odds show, but what's this, about our 4th week with the fine folks at Vegas Scores and Odds? Something like that, right?
It's number 4, yeah.
Number 4. I said back then he was finished, did I not?
You did.
I said he popped his calf tendon.
You did.
I said, you can't come back from that. I said, that's 4 to 7, 4 to 8 weeks.
Right.
Depending on the grade. Now I hear he's going through exercise. What does that mean? You're walking around the floor? Are you jogging? It's interesting. Excuse me. They know Klay Thompson's coming. That Klay Thompson is questionable tonight. That's what they said this morning.
Right.
Until it's upgraded. So, from a guy that got hurt 2 days ago, they're telling you he's okay and he may play.
Right. Well,
if he misses, he's going to miss. He's going to miss tonight. But this morning, the report was he was questionable.
Well, this is Klay.
Durant, we've been hearing he's going to play for 2 weeks.
That's right. Yes.
So he predicted Klay had a better chance of playing. Interesting. Tonight. Had a better chance this morning playing tonight than Durant did.
Right. Yeah.
That's not good.
That's
not good. Now, granted, they're up. I think, does Klay Thompson play if they're down 2-0? That's the question.
2-1, right.
Because Curry even said it in the papers. We'll see what's going to happen because we got some time.
Right.
Because they tied the series.
Exactly. Well, and this is what Klay Thompson said yesterday when he was asked about the injury. And let's go to that soundbite right now.
Like I said before, you just got to, as cliche as it is, dig deep and realize we have months to rest after this and recover. So for me, it's just about doing everything I can up till tip-off tomorrow to be able to go because I hate missing games. I really do.
Mike, he is at 80%, and so he is hoping that he can get up to about 85% before tip-off and then go out there because, as he said, that he can still be effective if he's less than 100%. And
can you do me a favor?
Sure.
Can you play that bit with Kerr again? You talked because you caught something good, Aldo, and these are great cuts, folks.
Okay.
But it's about listening to him, and Aldo brought up a good point. Kerr could have been more upbeat. So can we play that cut one more time?
Yeah, let me retrieve it. Just give me a second here.
Yeah, we can retrieve it. I'm sorry. We're doing this today because a lot of stuff has happened during the show. The White Sox have just lost, which is not good for the White Sox, but they're still only a few games under 500, where they weren't even going to be close. And then we got this Golden State thing.
Right. I got
where we're not really sure. He sounded to me fatal. And he never sounds that way, right?
I know. Here's the soundbite.
Right.
Kevin won't play, but he's ramping up his exercise routine, his workouts. And Klay is day-to-day, so he's questionable. And Loon is out, for the series. So there's your medical update.
He said he's day-to-day.
Day-to-day, right.
Does that mean he's playing? He's 85%. I think this guy Cook plays more. I think he might sit him.
I think so, too.
I don't know.
I think so,
That's
too.
a tough decision to make. The Durant decision's easy. He's too hurt.
Yes.
This guy's borderline. I think he sits.
Yeah. Now, I think that the reason that management, Kerr and the Warriors management will probably sit Klay out is because they feel that being down 2-1, if they lose tonight, being down 2-1 and having a healthier Klay come back for game 4 or 5 is better than either winning or losing tonight and furthering the injury problem for Klay Thompson. They are going to play it safe. That's my gut feel.
And you know what? That's a good gut feel, Aldo, because you know what, Klay Thompson, he's got a big year at the end of the year coming up, and Durant the same way. But I'm with you on this. I think they feel they can win again tonight without him. With the other players that they have, don't forget, folks, you have 3 All-Stars still. You have Curry, you have Draymond Green, and you got Iguodala. You got a Finals MVP. You got an All-Star in Draymond Green, and you got the greatest maybe player since Jordan.
Yep.
So I think they feel like Golden State that they can win the game with what they have tonight, even if, and I know it sounds nuts, but then look who's left. Even if they don't have those guys, they feel they can win tonight. It's not like the Bulls in the old days.
Right.
If Pippen missed and if Rodman would have missed, I think Jordan has his work cut out for him. Because of the different rules, because of the teams that they're playing back then, the Pistons, the Celtics, the monstrous teams, the Lakers that they used to play, all loaded with superstars. This Toronto team, it's loaded with one great player.
Yeah.
The Claw. That's it.
A lot of people are saying that Toronto wouldn't even be in the NBA Finals if LeBron would have stayed in the Eastern Conference. You agree with that?
I think that...
Tough one.
No, because you know why? Because of the team that he was on. Cleveland was finished.
Yeah.
You had J.R. Smith, Ian Shumpert, Kevin Love, who's, his head's never right. He suffers from depression.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Kyrie Irving left to Boston. Where was he going to win with? Who was he going to win with?
Yeah.
Not with Cleveland. He saw the handwriting on the wall. That's why he left. But I think he thought the Boston Celtics were going to win. I don't think LeBron James did his homework. I'll go to Los Angeles. I'll be in on an early rebuild. I can do my TV and movie stuff. Because if I stay in the East, I'm going to lose to Kyrie Irving. I'm going to lose to Gordon Hayward. I'm going to lose to Al Horford and the Boston Celtics. I don't want to lose the East. So I'm going to get out of there because Cleveland's depleted and go to the West. I think that's what happened. But what really screwed him up, he wouldn't have lost to Boston. He would have lost to Toronto. And I'm hearing DeMar DeRozan today saying he was made a scapegoat, and he feels they would have won this year. Here's what I'm going to tell DeMar DeRozan. You are a regular season hero. You never got it done in the playoffs.
It's true.
You were San Antonio, they're out. If they would have kept you and not got Kawhi Leonard, they're not playing in the championship. You know why? Because I watched you play for Toronto with Lowry for 4 or 5 years, and I watched you gag every single year in the playoffs.
So
Period. End of story. Kawhi Leonard is the guy. And by the way, I also heard that he is buying downtown Toronto, some real estate in downtown Toronto. So,
yeah.
For these people that think he's going to leave,
Right.
I think he's smarter than that. I think he's happy in Toronto, and he's a hero already.
Yeah, he really is. And boy, I would love for him to stay in Toronto. I hate it when NBA superstars and superstars from any league are just jumping from team to team to team. I'm old school. I like for guys to play for their teams from the beginning of their careers to the end. I appreciate the fact that they should be allowed free agency and make their own decisions. But please, come on, forfeit the $4 or $5 million out of $200 million contract you have and give the home team a discount and stay there and build a bond with the community. Now, after I get off my soapbox here, I've got another soundbite that I think you're going to enjoy. It's Steve.
I love soundbites.
Yeah, aren't they great? It's Kerr talking about Curry's leadership and what he needs to do in this Game 3.
Steph leads with his example, his work ethic, his humility. The players all love him. They love playing with him. They appreciate him so much. And I think with the injuries, he's where he's grown is his awareness, his understanding of what needs to happen, what he needs to do when other guys are out.
Get that, Mike? What he needs to do when other guys are out. Steph Curry could score 50 points tonight.
You're right. Great catch on that. Once again, Steve Kerr, you hear him talk about Steph Curry. The reverence that he has for the man. Steve Kerr, don't forget, played with a guy named Michael Jordan, folks.
Yep.
Okay? He played with Jordan. I think he would be an expert on this. But I think if you ask Steve Kerr, Jordan, and then who? He's saying Curry. Everything Steve Kerr's got is because of Steph Curry, folks. I mean, seriously, he was going to take the Knick job. He'd be out of basketball. He'd be back on TNT like Mark Jackson.
You aren't kidding.
But he took them to another place because they weren't happy with Mark Jackson, who had won 50 games with him. But Steph Curry changed that whole dynamic. And I believe in Steph Curry. I always have, as you know. I've said he's the best player in basketball over LeBron, over Durant, over any of them. Seriously, folks, think about it. 5 straight finals. Where was Golden State before Steph Curry? And where are they going to be after him? Because Klay Thompson could leave, Durant could leave, but if they got Iguodala, Draymond Green, these young guys that are coming up like Looney and Cook, and they have Steph Curry for the next 5 years, see, I get a kick out of people that think that Kawhi Leonard would go to the Clippers and play with the Clippers because that's all they need to beat Golden State. Are those people insane? Are they insane?
Yes.
I mean, there's nobody beaten as long as Steph Curry's around. They're the odds-on favorite every year until something happens otherwise.
Now, strategically, one of the big things you got me, huh?
Well, thank you. We hope that the plate set that we got your lovely wife is self-satisfaction. All right, we're back. Yeah.
Mike, you know who I sounded like there? I sounded like Lionel Barrymore in Key Largo. Remember Lionel Barrymore, the old actor. He played Mr. Potter in It's a Wonderful Life.
Lionel Barrymore, Key Largo. What an actor, my friend.
Well, how about?
Along with an Edward G. Robinson, along with a Humphrey Bogart, a Lauren Bacall, if you will. Sterling Hayden. Come on, Sterling Hayden, the rebel actor from the 50s, 60s. And then, I mean, Edward G. Robinson was fantastic.
Yes, he was.
They were all great, and you're right. He was Potter in It's a Wonderful Life,
Yes.
and I love him in Key Largo. You're nothing but scum. You're nothing but scum.
There you go.
I love it.
There you go. Old school, baby. All right, back.
Oh, you're nothing but scum.
Back to basketball. Here's a strategic thing that Toronto did at the end of Game 2, where they limited Steph Curry's scoring. They played a box defense with one guy just trailing Curry all over and really limited his scoring in the fourth quarter. They employed this after Klay Thompson left the game. And so Curry, after the game, called it a janky box D and so forth, and kind of made fun about it, and all the Warriors players have been talking about it. Here's a soundbite I pulled of Curry talking about that defense.
We'll be prepared for what they throw at us, going forward in this series, and just got to be able to adapt. That's pretty much what the finals is about at this stage, where you got to expect to see literally anything, and a lot of desperation in certain moments of games when they make those type of calls. So we'll be ready for whatever.
Yeah, remember the old box defense, Mike, when you played basketball? They had a four-man box, and then one guy is trailing the best player. Well, that's what they employed on Curry, and it was somewhat effective. But the bottom line is that the Warriors won the game.
Well, it wasn't really effective, and I'll tell you why. And people don't get this. When you put a box on a box man on somebody, would you play like a 2-2 with one chaser? Or 3-1 with one chaser. It depends where you want your configuration under the paint. We played it at Notre Dame. If we played, I'll give you Tyler Ulis. who went to Kentucky. You know, we played that type of defense. But here's the problem. Steph Curry's scoring was depleted, but everything else went up.
Right.
His assists, his rebounds, because he's a point guard. And he's pass first. I know it's hard for people to believe, but if you watch him, he dribbles through the zones, you know, has people chase him. He's looking for the open man. Here, I can't believe I'm saying this, but Steph Curry, take it from a guy that shot the ball every time he got the ball. Steph Curry shoots pretty good. Shoots a lot, right?
Oh, yeah.
But he makes a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But I've never heard him called a ball hog because he passes the ball
You're so right.
as much as he shoots it.
Yep.
Have you ever heard them say, oh, Steph Curry's a ball hog? No. Klay Thompson, listen to this. Klay Thompson scored 37 points in one quarter. I think it was last year or the year before, right?
Yep.
Steph Curry was on the team.
That's right. That's right.
He's passing the ball to the guy.
Yep.
He's selfless.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to shoot.
Yeah.
You know, some guys, J.R. Smith, he comes out shooting out of the locker room. A lot of these guys want to shoot all the time. They want the ball, they want to shoot. Steph Curry, okay, you're going to put a box man on me? Good luck to you. Somebody's going to be open. And what happened? Iguodala was wide open.
Yes.
And he took that shot with 5 seconds left, which I thought was nuts until I found out they're champions. He felt he was going to make it. He knew he was going to make it. God, am I good today.
Mike, you just made a brilliant point, because I remember back to the Jordan era that I and a lot of other fans thought that Michael was a ball hog many times. And it wasn't until he learned to start sharing the ball because Phil Jackson drilled it into him that they became an NBA championship team, a dynasty team. But those first few years, Jordan, and to his defense, he was surrounded by a lot of poor players, and
who was he going to pass to?
Exactly.
I mean, he had Quentin Daly and Orlando Woolridge. I mean, that was what he had, and Dave Corzine. I never thought he was a ball. What you heard is he doesn't make players around him better.
Yeah.
Did you see the players around him?
So
I mean, Jesus Christ couldn't have made him better. That's all I'm telling you. So then, what happened? Jordan, do you remember when Jordan played point for about 12 games?
Yes.
He averaged a triple-double every game.
Right.
So when he knew he had to distribute the ball, he averaged a triple-double. It's my assessment. If Jordan had played point guard for the Bulls, he would have broken Oscar Robertson's record, a point guard again, where he had basically averaged a triple-double, even before Russell Westbrook.
Yes.
Even before Russell Westbrook.
I remember a famous quote, and I'll butcher it, but it was something about Jordan being asked why he stopped throwing the ball into Bill Cartwright, and he said, it's like throwing it into a black hole, because Cartwright would lose the ball. Cartwright didn't have the best hands, and so he'd get these passes down in the block, and the ball would be hit out of his hands, or he'd miss the shot, and so forth. And Jordan just grew frustrated and just decided, I'm never going to throw him the ball again.
Well, you know what? Here's another thing. Bird even had problems with McHale. He said to McHale, I throw the ball to you. Every time you go, you take. McHale averaged 50. He averaged 50% from the field his career.
I remember that.
Kevin McHale's one of the best low post players. Charles Barkley calls him the best low post player he ever saw.
Indeed.
So naturally, if you're Kevin McHale, you're going to do it. But Bird wanted the ball kicked out every so often. But if you watch those highlights of the Celtics, and I love the '86 team. I still think it's the greatest team ever, with Ainge, Johnson, Parrish, McHale, and Bird. I love that team. But if you watch the Celtics with Bird and McHale doesn't kick the ball out to Bird hardly at all. It was like Bird will get it into you. If you get it, you shoot it. Otherwise, Bird's going to take it, distribute it, or shoot it himself.
Classic stuff. Classic stuff. All right, we are now 35 minutes into our show, and that means...
Yeah! Then I scream.
I love that scream. Primordial, whatever that word
Oh,
is.
my gosh. The dog just jumped. 1-800-808-3419. 1-800-808-3419, folks. VegasScoresAndOdds.com. I've had so much fun. I'm 189 games over the cover to 200 mark. I'm saying 200 games above 500. That's an unbelievable accomplishment. I'm sorry. How many people you know in your life that are even winning one game above 500? Every time you talk to your buddies, hey, what happened? I went 1-3 yesterday. We do the same. I went 0-2 with Yurko after winning 3 straight weeks in a row. Carmen and Yurko went 0-2. Played the system, lost a hockey game. It was the game where Boston stomped on the Blues 7-2. Yeah, the genius here, because I'm the carrier, I'm the messenger boy for the system that I play. The genius here that night had the Blues in the under. I went to bed after 10 minutes. It was over. But I'm not. Exactly. It was 7-2 final. I would have lost sleep. I knew I was doomed, but I knew it was coming back tomorrow and the next day and the next day. It's not a one-day proposition, folks, and that's why when you look at my record there and you look at everybody else's record, there's accomplished handicappers on this site. So go to 1-800-808-3419, 1-800-808-3419, and follow them at VS80. VSAO. That's Vegas. Scores and odds. Dial them up for the free pick. 1-800-808-3419. Aldo, here is the pick of the day. Aldo just fell asleep.
No.
I love the commercial. But I asked you 10 minutes ago. I got it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. You think anybody else is this lively at 3 o'clock in the afternoon? That's all.
Not in the continental United States.
Or in the communist bloc countries. Huh?
I love it.
Can I just say something?
Please.
Queen Elizabeth is a phenomenal person.
She really is.
That's all I'm going to say. I got to be honest with you. The woman was collecting tin cans as a teenager.
Is that right? I didn't know that.
For the war effort. Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
The woman, they're going to be celebrating D-Day, 75 years. How about this, folks? Hey, listen, guys, here's my plan. You're going to run out of the boat into the water, and there's going to be like 15 machine gun nests firing at you. You know? I mean, are you out of your mind? I mean, to me, it wasn't a very...
No.
I mean, we lost so many men.
Oh, my gosh.
We lost so many men.
Not a laughing matter. Absolutely.
And families were shattered. Mm-hmm. Families were shattered forever.
Yep.
Forever.
That is
but,
right.
And we almost lost. If we lose that, who knows what happens? But we won. Thank God. Tomorrow, 75th anniversary of D-Day. Say a prayer. Thank those men. Thank Queen Elizabeth, who was there as a teenager. I cannot believe, and she said this today, 60. She was at the 60th anniversary, and nobody gave her a shot to be back for this one.
How about it?
Because that's 15 years ago.
How about it? Yep.
And there she is. So tomorrow, folks, you see a veteran, give him a salute. And those old guys today, I watched a lot of the coverage, and I saw the celebrations in Britain with all the high dignitaries from all over the world. And it was a game changer. I don't know how you feel, Aldo. I think it's the most important day in military history of this country.
Without a doubt.
Going with the Civil War and a lot of other bad wars that were fought. If the South beats the North, okay, everybody's speaking with a draw. If Germany wins, it's a whole different story, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll tell you what, as an aside to that, Saving Private Ryan is being re-released in the theaters as commemoration for that. And those scenes, of those battle scenes at the beginning of the movie, I mean, there's never been a movie where I felt like I was in a battle like those opening scenes of Saving Private Ryan. And it just harrowing what these brave men went through. Absolutely. D-Day, the most incredible day in military history, and we should definitely salute all of our military people, whether you see them live or go to social media and give them a high five.
All right, it's time to make our picks, ladies and gentlemen, and I got to be honest with you, this is going to be easy tonight. Wow, yeah, here we go. As we follow, and I'm just glad we got something, Aldo and I got to pay our respects to all the wonderful people that made that day possible. Okay, now, there's a game tonight, ladies and gentlemen. At 7:05, the Chicago Cubs play the Colorado Rockies, okay? Now, the Rockies, they got Nolan Arenado, who's one of the best players in all of baseball, a top 5 player. And Chris Bryant, I'm glad to see, Aldo, that everybody finally got the message that I was trying to put out. The Chicago Cubs made a really important move. They're back in first place, and they picked up Carlos Gonzalez and put him in right field. So Joe Madden will never do something stupid again, hopefully, and put Chris Bryant in right field. If you heard this show, I was adamantly against it, against putting him anywhere but third. And since they picked up Carlos, he's played third base, talking about Bryant. I hope to God they keep it that way. I don't think it will happen. I never thought I'd see Schwarber lead off again. But, hey, the Cubs are starting to get on the roll again. And I like the Chicago Cubs tonight, Aldo, minus 112 against the Colorado Rockies, with Yu Darvish going up against Marquez. How's that?
I am shocked that you would pick the Cubs in a game where Yu Darvish is pitching. Oh, man, that is confidence. I love it.
Now, listen to me, you little rascal. You know the system picked it. I don't care who's pitching. I don't care if Yu Darvish is pitching, Hugh Hill is pitching, or Hugh Hefner's pitching, okay? All I'm going to tell you is the system picked it. And guess what? I'm going with it. Hugh Darvish is going to fashion us one of those, like, 6-inning games. I want to see him go past 6 innings and be effective tonight. But, man, Colorado, it's so easy to take them. I did all my homework. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you right now, the Cubs win this game. Now,
wait a minute. Hugh Hill, Hugh Hefner have never been used in a sentence together in the history of the world. Hugh Hill, who was a longtime Channel 7 news reporter here in Chicago, bald-headed. I mean, the guy looked like he
was the original Orange Man.
Yes, he was the original Orange Man.
Hugh Hill would come on your TV. Everybody's like pale. You know, John Drury, Joel Daly. Everybody's pale. Jerry Taft. Looking for something to eat.
That's right.
Everybody's pale.
I would immediately start.
Hugh Hill. Hugh Hill comes on, and what was great about Hugh Hill, when his face was really orange, and it was Halloween, it was special.
I would immediately start adjusting.
You look like a giant pumpkin.
Yes, I would start adjusting the hue and tint on my Magnavox 15-inch TV. And say, what's wrong with the color? This guy looks orange.
His whole face was orange. He was the original orange. Hey, listen, I didn't have to name him. I was ready to name Hugh O'Brien. Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and bold. People don't remember. He had a long gun. Hugh O'Brien, a real long gun. Yes, he did. Now, are you ready? We have the Cubs. Cincinnati. I love our 3 o'clock shows.
Oh, man.
And they're going well, by the way, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, yes.
Cincinnati versus St. Louis tonight. Now, you're going, okay, Mike, what are we going to do with this little baby? Well, I'm going to tell you something right now. St. Louis's pitching has been a disappointment. Wainwright's not the pitcher that he was, but they're still sniffing around. They're still getting the job done. And you know what? Tonight, though, you have Hudson for the Cardinals against D. Schiaffani. Now, they both have decent ERAs, but you know what? The game could go either way. I am going with the under tonight, 9.5. So we have the Cubs minus 116, Cincinnati, St. Louis under 9.5. And then last but not least, my third pick, which we promise every single Wednesday on VegasScoresAndOdds.com. Just go to it right now, folks. Check it out. And I promise you 3 games. Thank God I didn't come on the air. I sort of like the White Sox today, but, you know, being on the air late saved my butt, if you know what I mean.
How about it?
Astros versus the Mariners.
Okay.
Tonight. The over-under is 9. And you got Mike Leake going against Brad Peacock.
Mm-hmm.
Now, neither one of them has shown well of late. But Mike Leake is a guy that really, when you talk about the dam breaking and leaking, it would be him. I'm taking the over 9. in that game between Houston and Seattle. I think the bats come out. So you have the Cubs minus 116, Cincinnati, St. Louis under 9.5, Houston, Seattle over 9. Aldo, back to you on behalf of Vegas Scores and Odds.
Oh, great stuff. Hey, I wanted to ask you a question about all of those fine prognosticators over at Vegas Scores and Odds. You guys have kind of a little friendly rivalry between one another, or is it, or is this kind of like a gang and you guys all stick together?
Well, I want everybody to do well. There's no doubt about it. But I'm the new kid on the block for a lot of these guys.
Okay.
I came to Vegas Scores and Odds a few years back, and Jeff Allen asked me to come on, and I said, I can do this, I can do that, and they laughed at me, basically. Because Jeff was a friend of mine. He goes, what do you think? How good are you? I go, I make the picks at home, and I do pretty good. Well, they've heard that a million times.
Yeah.
I said, well, give me a try. All of a sudden, I'm second all time. Nice. Now, there are some respected people, and there's been people that have been on this site that went to other sites. You know, people like that they've been in the business for years, like Jim Feist. So I want to beat them, but I want them to do good. And if you go to my Twitter handle, you can press at the top of my profile. There's one for at ESPN 1000, at Bears Barroom, or at Vegas Scores and Odds. And if you press Vegas Scores and Odds, you'll get the front page. And what's on the front page is something that's changed. Every week for the last 10 weeks, I've been in the top 4. But I'm 4-3 my last 7 days, and Hollywood is 4-2. Mark Franco 2-0. John Anthony 14-9. Dennis Macklin is 11-5. I'm 5th this week, so I didn't make that cut. But I'm second all time at 1465, 1276. I can tell you this: most handicappers in Vegas never heard of me until about a few years ago. And then I went on the 18-1-1 kick. Now everybody knows who I am. It's especially being on ESPN 1000, but starting out in Bears Barroom and now being on Vegas Scores and Odds, I should be a household name all over the country. You know, and now we got legalized betting, which means things hopefully will open up for everybody. And if you want to win with the taxes going up in this state, I mean, you know, I don't understand how you get marijuana passed and you get gambling, and yet our taxes are all going up. I don't understand. There's going to be a gas tax that doubles. Well, you know, some of these, the $15 minimum, I would have never gotten in the hot dog stand business because there's no way I was paying a kid $15 a drop fries, ever.
Mike, do you think the politicians are already smoking marijuana?
It's unbelievable. I mean, it's such a, the state is, nobody trusts them. And when you hear on the same day you pass marijuana and gambling, you hear your taxes are going up, there's something smells, man. I know. You know why? Because they can't pay off the pensions.
And it's not the marijuana.
Instead of figuring out a way to lower taxes and figuring out a better way to get out of it, they just keep zinging the folks. Mm-hmm. And I thought Pritzker did a good job getting this stuff in, but when I found out everybody's taxes are going up, I said to myself, what is the fat man doing?
He is a big man.
What the hell is he doing? So I'm really not happy about that, and I don't think most people in Illinois are happy. And I heard a guy say the other day on TV, that's the final straw. So now you're going to lose people to other states. I mean, I know a guy that lives in Tennessee that built a home bigger than Pappyland. Okay? Now, he lives in Tennessee. It's not bad. Mm-hmm. $300,000 for the whole house. And he's got a pool. He's got a 3-car garage. He's got like 5 bedrooms, a big piece of land. He's paying $300,000, and his taxes are $2,000. You know, are you kidding me? So that's what's going to happen, and people are going to go over to Indiana. People are going to go get their gas and their cigarettes like they've been doing for years anyway. So I just don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't, you know what? I'm not going to drive that much anyway. I think I'm going to buy a golf cart and just hit 47. I'm going to hit the Edens on 47 with the golf cart. Hell with it.
The following was brought to you by...
Why do you get me fired up like that? And don't forget, the other half of our residents are going to be stoned and broke.
Did you get a tax bill in the mail recently?
No, I read the papers yesterday. See, that's the problem.
What?
See, you're not outraged now. You wait till the tax bill comes, and you decide to get pissed off. It's too late by then.
Let me tell you, I think I told you once when we had lunch how much I pay in taxes, and you almost slapped me in the face and said, "Move."
Well, it took me a while to get up. Look, you think I moved to Huntley? Look, I love where I live.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
I love where I live.
Beautiful.
Now. And my taxes dropped in half.
Yeah.
And I'm going to save so much money by living out here instead of in Park Ridge. And you've seen my house. It's huge.
Mm-hmm.
And I got everything I need. I feel for everybody else. I mean, there's people selling homes. There's this guy, Dennis Rodkin. He does real estate stuff on Twitter. And he lists what homes listed for in 2009 in Chicago. Like in Lake Forest, a home, $2,300,000. And then now, that same home going for 1.8, actually losing money because the property taxes are so high.
Yep.
It's like picking up a second mortgage.
Exactly. It really is true. I tell my wife we should move, and then she goes, "No, but I love it here." And then I tell her, "Okay, well, go to work. See you later."
Well, that's the deal, though. Here's the beautiful thing about it. You can live in Tennessee, but it might take you 2 hours to get to the airport. See, what we pay for here in Chicago is not the property in itself. It's when I lived in Park Ridge, let me tell you something. I was 5 minutes from the expressway. I was 10 minutes from O'Hare. Okay? I was 20 minutes from downtown Chicago. I was in a perfect spot.
Park Ridge
you
is
pay
perfect.
for a lot of things. It's not just the house.
Correct.
And that's what they try to tell you. But now things are getting out of hand. When you're bringing in two entities, marijuana and gambling, that's found money. That's found money.
Yeah.
That's supposed to cure some of this. And instead I'm hearing it's not curing it. Pretty fishy.
Well, and then
But that's just me. Me.
Not to belabor this, but then when you see the breakdown of where all that money, all that revenue is coming from in taxes and marijuana, when you see it broken down, only 5% is being used to, not 5%, but a small amount is being used to pay down the debt that the state is under. And it's like, why are you going to continue to pay interest on the debt that you owe and not pay this debt immediately?
They're never going to catch up until... And I know that Pritzker wants to pay, and I know we're off the beaten track, but we got to talk about this because the sports gambling thing was huge. I thought it was going to cure, and they're going to put in a casino in Chicago. We're bringing in all this money-making stuff. And by the way, you that lives over on Kedzie, yeah, your taxes are going up. You got a home in Park Ridge, your taxes are going up. What are you talking about?
Right.
We just got into the marijuana and gaming business.
Right. Well, and your point is really well taken here, is that because you're establishing gambling in the state of Illinois, but you're taking money away through taxes so that people can't enjoy, gambling, and so you're going to reduce the gambling revenue because the taxes are going up. It's not being handled strategically. It's not very smart.
I'll give you a perfect example. Los Angeles, has 50 blocks of homeless people. Do you know what they have no low-income housing for these people.
Mm-hmm.
How can that be in that state? They don't have enough low-income housing. Do you know how much you have to make an hour to live in Los Angeles and live okay? $40.
Yeah, you got to make some cash, that's for sure.
And there are people that 5 years ago in Los Angeles were doing great. And now they're living on some boulevard, on Skid Row. It's all out of whack, man.
All right, want to talk some baseball?
Well, that's about that. That's about all that. I mean, but seriously, the sports gambling, I thought was going to cure something. It's not going to cure anything.
No, that is for sure. It is not. Well, it may. We'll have to open up our own politics show here on the Barroom Network. But
this is about every person, and it's not political.
No.
When you do sports, look at Vegas doesn't have high property taxes. Mm-hmm. You know why? They have gambling. They have hotels. Wherever there's gambling, you would think there'd be some relief for the taxpayers. And then the marijuana thing. What was going to happen if we didn't pass these two things? We were even going to be screwed even more. So it's just an amazing phenomenon to me. It really is.
Well, it was strategic in terms of the announcement, because I think the way it went is they said, okay, we're going to give you gambling. we're going to raise your taxes, and now we're going to let you smoke marijuana so you can forget the fact that we raised your taxes.
That's right. That's right. There's people that don't even want to think about it. But you know what? We'll see what happens, and we'll see how this thing shakes out.
Hartford 803 makes a really good point. He says it's not just taxes, it's the fees, too. He just paid $200 for his plates and registration in his car, and that is a big problem, too. It's not just taxes.
Agreed. All these fees, they're sticking service fees on hotels and all this other garbage. He's right. And like I said earlier, they're trying to grab money from people and businesses any way they can, and trying to put a Band-Aid on the problem. And I was happy what Pritzker did, but I'm very dissatisfied with what else other things he pushed through to make our taxes go up.
NB Dub in the chat room says if you're going to do a politics show with Mike, he's going to send us his reel because he wants to be your co-host.
Well, I'm just telling the truth that gambling, sports gambling, isn't going to put a dent in people's problems.
Yeah.
Yet they want you to go out there and gamble. Go out there and gamble by state-owned casinos or casinos that are licensed by the state. But guess what? Your taxes are still going to go up. And I guarantee you in a lot of other states, check it out, people don't pay a lot of taxes that have gambling. Of course, you'll see states like Mississippi, Casino Magic, but you got Vegas. Of course, Vegas has gone up because of just the overall Vegas becoming a metropolitan city. They're going to have an NFL football team next year. They have an NHL hockey team. I don't think the NBA is far behind. And who knows where Major League Baseball is.
Yeah.
So they're a big city now, too. It's not the Vegas of Bugsy Siegel, or it's just built on gambling. I mean, you're going to have the Raiders there next year. You have the Las Vegas Knights. So, when I started going to Vegas on a regular basis, the only game in town was UNLV. And they were a big game, don't get me wrong, 91 and 92. But now the sports thing, everything has grown in Vegas. It's grown so much.
It really has. It really is a great place to live. People sometimes say, I would never live in Vegas. No, that's because you're thinking of the Strip and the gambling and so forth. There are beautiful homes, beautiful communities, good schools and so forth. Vegas has, in the state of Nevada, has a lot of things going for it. It's there's a misperception about Vegas.
Yeah, there is, and it's a great restaurant town now. In fact, I have interest in Joe Stone Crab with Rich Melman at Caesar's Palace. I'm an investor, and he owns places like Mona Mi Gabi out there. We've been to the Eiffel Tower restaurant out there. You got Anthony's Steakhouse at the Yum Resort, where me and BB like to stay. Go see our guy Bruno out there. Look, Vegas is great. I wanted to live in Vegas for a long time. The reason I sold my property out there last year, if you remember, when we talked on Bear Barroom, is because of what happened the other day. Sports gambling came here because I don't play table games anymore.
Neither do I.
There's no sense.
Yeah.
You bust your ass, you're winning $2,000-$3,000 on a game, and then you drop 5 dimes in blackjack in 20 minutes.
Yep.
Or 500 or whatever it is that you bet. And the guys I'm going to talk about know all about this stuff because they're out there. My guys at Vegas Scores and Odds, call 1-800-808-3419 for a free pick and info for the premier handicapping site in the country, VegasScoresandOdds.com. It's the only site you'll ever need, folks. Check out John Anthony, Denny Macklin, Tony Sacco, Ray Monahan. Are you kidding me? Hollywood, all the guys. Right now, placing second all time with my picks. Follow them at VSAO. Pick packages ranging from daily to weekly. 1-800-808-3419. 1-800-808-3419. That's Vegas Scores and Odds.
Mike, in this last 30 seconds or so that we have, I want to ask you.
I can't believe the show went so fast.
I know we could easily do 2 hours today, but I know you got a busy schedule this afternoon. And I want to get this podcast up because a lot of people are anxious to, on the ride home, listen to your 3 free picks, and we don't want to deny them that. But I just
no way, baby. We're going to get them up. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, the picks that I gave you tonight: the Cubs, the under 9.5 in Cincinnati, St. Louis, and the over 9 in Houston, Seattle.
Okay. Just wanted to ask you, Hart 4803, Kevin Jankowski wants to know who is going to win tonight's basketball game. Not betting wise or anything like that, just from standard basketball, who's going to come out on top?
You know what? I would play the total tonight if I was him.
Okay.
I would go the over. As far as who's going to win, you know what? I tried. The system didn't have anything. It was even.
Mm-hmm.
Usually when it's even, I lean towards the favorite. But if I was going to take anything right now, I'd take the over.
Excellent. And
hope I answered his question.
He's happy. He's giving you a fist bump right now.
All right, I love fist bumps.
And he is his opinion is he's going with the Toronto Raptors. And I got to tell you one thing: tonight has the makings of what could be one of the best NBA Finals of all time. If Steph Curry has one of those games, it's going to be something that we'll be talking about, in our dying days, because he's got an opportunity here to create something really incredible.
And if they lose, it'll be because Durant's not there.
Exactly.
We'll play that little game. Even though the record now, after the win by Golden State the other night, makes them 31-2 without Durant.
That is so
but
true.
They're better with Kevin Durant. But they're 31-2 without him. But they're better with Kevin Durant. You know what the problem is? I read an article real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I forget who it's from. A lot of the players don't like Steph because he's a suburban player. And it's an inner city game.
Yes.
That stuff ended a long time ago for me. I don't care where you're from. You got people coming from Europe now, getting it done. Don't give me this crap. It's an inner city game.
Yeah.
It's coming. People are playing from all over. From the Greek Freak didn't grow up in Milwaukee, okay?
Or Greektown here in Chicago.
All right, buddy.
All right, I love you, Mike North. Talk to you later.
Love you, Aldo. That was a great show.
That really, really, really was. That was.